Schmack-a-magab, and hi there. It is time to do the Dr. Sleep episode. It's a crossover episode with The Plug with Nate Bushy Atchison. We did The Shining a while ago. And now we're going to do the Dr. Sleep episode. And man, I'd probably say this. We did this episode like a month ago, so I don't remember what I said on here, but I'll say it now and probably I say it later. I haven't seen a movie this good in decades. I cannot recommend this movie enough if you haven't seen it, especially the DVD expanded version that's 3 hours long. Doesn't seem like 3 hours. It flows so good. It's a long episode, so let's get into it already. Take it away, Bushy.
Well, all right. Welcome to part 2 of the crossover project here. The Plug Podcast meets the Vieira Vault. I'm sitting here with Ralph Vieira. How you doing, brother?
Schmack-a-magab there, dude.
That's great. We're here to talk about Dr. Sleep today.
Yeah. We were supposed to do this earlier. I wanted to do The Shining and the Dr. Sleep back to back, but some people are, can't hang with the fuckster. So, I had to wait for you.
Yeah, well, my schedule sucks. I don't like this overnight bullshit. So I put myself right back on a day schedule as soon as I'm done working. And like even now, I'm exhausted, ready to go to bed. It's like 10:30 at night. I'm like, fuck, it's late.
You have to work tomorrow?
I work tomorrow night, yeah.
Oh, at night. Okay. Well, drugs can be an option, dude, to keep you up, just so you know.
Oh, no, not where I work. Oh. They hair follicle you there, so.
Hair follicles?
Oh, yeah.
Dude, hair follicles will find pot you smoked when you were fucking 14.
It goes back 90 days.
You're a smart guy. You shave your head. Now I know why you shave your head.
I shave my head 'cause I'm bald.
Oh, they can check that all those millions of long ass hairs on your chin.
Right.
Yeah, there you go. Shave that, dude. Shave that and do some crack tonight.
Yeah. And then I hurt myself at work and get tested, and I'm screwed. Because they don't just have to take it from your head. They'll take the hair from anywhere they can get it.
Shave your pubes.
Oh, that's a done deal. No chick is flossing with me. I'm just saying that.
Wow. Oh, you don't like the bush? The bushy don't like the bush on a girl? You hypocrite.
Yeah, I can't stand that shit.
Really?
Absolutely. Oh. Like, shave that shit down. I'm not a 70s guy.
Wow. That's interesting. We learn something every day here on the crossover episode of The Plug and Vieira Vault.
Yeah, that's a new one. I pretty much assumed everybody knew that.
Right on, dude. So, I've been ready for this. I watched the theatrical version like 4 days ago, and I watched tonight. I watched the extended version. So it has now become a total of 7 times I have seen Dr. Sleep.
Oh wow!
And it doesn't get. And I'm telling you, I'm looking at these movies back to back, which I don't usually do. Even the theater, I went twice as a theater. There's no movies like this that I grew up with. I mean, other than like maybe Jaws and first couple Star Wars movies, but I can't think of any movies after that where I kept going back to the theater to watch it. So this is a movie that I hate to talk now about this because it's fairly new, but I would be quite surprised if this ain't one of my favorite movies in the future, because as of now it is. I don't know how I'm going to feel in the future about this, because, time tells everything. But all I know is that I have not seen a movie on repeat list viewings like this since I was a kid.
I tend to watch a lot of stuff over and over again. It's if I like it, I like it. And I got to say, as of right now, for me, Dr. Sleep may be film of the year 2019.
Maybe for me, man.
Well, see, Rise of Skywalker hits Vudu on the 17th. I've already pre-ordered it, so I'm going to rewatch that. Because I know I loved it. I saw it in the theater.
That was awesome.
I just watched Uncut Gems.
I liked it. I saw it. What'd you think?
Dude, I thought it was amazing in that ending, and I don't want to give the ending away to
No, yeah,
listeners that haven't seen it.
it was unexpected.
But I was like,
But
what the fuck just happened here?
yeah,
Didn't see it coming.
I had a dinner with my family the other day, and my nephew was like, "Oh, that movie was terrible." I was like, "What?" And then I thought, well, he's a young kid, and he probably like a Happy Gilmore fan or something.
Sure, which
Because
I understand because I love Billy Madison, Happy Gilmore. I love
yeah,
the goofy Sandler.
yeah, I liked it too. But this is not that. This is nowhere near those movies.
This isn't even Punch Drunk Love because it's not really a comedy. I mean, even Punch Drunk Love was a dark comedy.
I never saw it.
It's a good one. It's worth a watch.
All right, but I enjoyed it. I thought his acting was superb,
Oh yeah,
and I thought the flow of the movie was good, and it's kind of like it's a guy that you want to root for, but you don't want to root for. It's a weird feeling watching him play that role.
because he's kind of a scumbag.
He's a scumbag, and you root for him, but at the same time, it's like, oh, come on, you're a scumbag for doing that and this and that. I mean, but he's, the
I will
without,
say that chick in
yeah,
the lingerie with that ass. Good God.
yeah. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the movie. It was good.
Absolutely. So you're right. Doctor Sleep. Even for movie of the year, after those two others I mentioned, Rise of Skywalker. But I'm a huge Star Wars fan. But I'm not that fan that gets so pissed off at these three movies. I thoroughly enjoyed them.
I don't get
This
mad at any Star Wars movie. I've seen them all. Yeah, I didn't like Jar Jar, and I really don't like the Ewoks. I'm sure you do because it's your timeline, right? You enjoyed
I'm
those little furry bastards?
no, I'm actually the only part of Return of the Jedi I liked was the whole, Luke and the Emperor, their
Yeah,
standoff until that final, lightsaber battle. I
yeah.
did like the Battle of Endor, but the teddy bears can go.
I like I
I
liked
don't hate them,
I
but
liked Jabba the Hutt scene. I thought it was a good movie. It's just the
it was no Empire.
no, the Empire is the best. But man, even though I think Empire is the best Star Wars movie, I have a very strong sentiment for A New Hope because it was a movie that I kept going back to the movies to see it as a kid. In 1977, how old were you? You weren't born yet, right?
No, I was two, and I actually saw that in the theater when it was out.
Well, at the
Now,
time, man, me and my friends were all fucking in awe of the special effects of Star Wars, the first one. I mean, looking at it now, it's nothing, but back then, it was so groundbreaking.
oh, it was amazing.
It
It was
was so
absolutely amazing.
amazing. And, yeah, so New Hope is like, God, it's like such a close second for me because of sentimental reasons.
Oh, I hear you. And
I
those
will say,
movies, that original trilogy, I've seen more times than I can count.
I will say this, and this is definitely not a popular opinion. Um, I thought Mark Hamill in certain scenes of these movies, the original three, he was terrible. I thought he was terrible. Terrible. That's impossible.
Yeah, yeah.
And in the
It
first
was
one,
like Shatner almost in Star Trek.
yeah,
He was like really overacting.
yeah. In the first one, when he's complaining to his uncle, but I want to do this. It's like, but then you look at these last two, he's awesome. I
Right.
thought his acting was fucking badass. But Star Wars purists is like, God, it's terrible. And I'm like, wow. I thought Luke, I liked him more as a grumpy old man, man. I just thought he was just badass.
Well, you
You
know
know,
what it is? You can relate to it. And I found that out like here's a perfect example. I used to
what
like
are you
Andrew
trying to
Dice
say? That
Clay.
I'm a grumpy old guy?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That's
Okay.
exactly what I'm saying. And hear me out. Go with me on this.
No, I'm with you all the way. I am a grumpy old guy.
I used to like Andrew Dice Clay back in the 90s just because it was raw filth.
I
Okay.
still like that shit.
I thought it was hilarious. But I saw a stand up that he released last year on Netflix, and it disappeared quick. It was like on
Yeah.
and then off. But as a 50 something year old man, I understood more what he was talking about and enjoyed this Andrew Dice Clay way more than I ever enjoyed the 90s Dice.
It's not on Netflix no more?
No, dude, it was like there and then gone. I've been looking for it everywhere.
Wow.
But it's a good one. He's just talking about shit that us older guys have to deal with, and it was great. I
Right
just
on.
turned 45 a week after you turned 55.
Holy fuck, you're old.
I know it. No, Doctor Sleep. I actually haven't watched it in a few weeks. I meant to watch it today. I really did. But dude, I just watched 1917 today, and that's fucking brilliant. And then I
Way to do
watched.
your research, dude.
I know it. But I've seen it enough. Though. I haven't seen it 7 times, but I have seen it 4 times. And that's what is it? It was once the theatrical when I went to the movies and saw it, then 3 times the extended version that I didn't know I had. And that 3 times I saw it is since we did the Shining episode. So it's still kind of there. I know the
Right.
movie well enough. I know it
Okay.
has possibly the most brutal scene I've seen in any movie to not show anything.
Yeah. No, there's actually three, I believe. What was that? Man, I was watching it today. I was like, wow, I mean, I know those two kids killed, but then there was a scene where kind of implied another kid was killed. Now I can't remember now. Fuck. Way to do my research, huh?
I know, right?
But
I remember
there's
the
more
little
than
girl
two
at the
kids.
beginning,
Yeah.
with Rose the Hat, and that's I think that was extended in the
Yeah.
director's cut.
Yeah, a little bit. The beginning, yeah, a
Yeah,
little, not that
not a
much, a
lot,
little. Yeah, just a little.
but
Uh,
more
the
creep
part,
was added to it.
yeah, the part where the flowers, she's picking the flowers was in the extended version. That
Okay,
was a little more, and a little conversation she had with him was a little, maybe like half a minute was taken out of that on the theatrical one. But
right.
man, I mean, the whole scene with the him describing the box and how to put people in the box, man, a lot of important. Like you saw the extended version, you were telling me earlier you don't remember. You thought it was in. It's not. It's not in the
Yeah, I
theatrical
thought it
version.
was in the theatrical version. I'm gonna have to go back and watch them both back to back, and that's going to be a task because you're looking at 5.5 hours.
That's what I did though. I watched the theatrical version like 4 days ago. Because I got the Blu-ray, so of course I wasn't going to watch the theatrical version.
Well,
So I watched the extended version, and just by memory, I was like, "Wait, this is different." So then when I watched the theatrical version a couple days ago, I noticed, and then I went back today to watch it, and yeah, I noticed. And I'm telling you, a very important scene, but they cut out was the Scatman Crothers character telling the kid about how his grandfather told him about the box and all this thing. With a theatrical version, it went straight to, all right, this box and this and that,
yeah, and you
which
go to
it's,
hold it, feel it, smell it.
yeah, that it
And he
explains
alludes
it.
to this is how you go to lock them up.
It explains it good enough, but it's very interesting to see the backstory how he, discovered the box thing because of his grandparents.
Oh, I'm gonna have to look at it again because I really don't remember that not being in the theatrical release. There was something else that I caught in this because, like I said, I've only watched the director's cut since I found out I had the director's cut. Because I buy a lot of my stuff on Vudu now just because it's convenient. I think I told you last time. There's nothing fucking near me. There's a sorry piece of shit mall about 20 minutes away, 30 minutes away, but it's got like 5 stores. I mean, it's there's nothing there. I could buy shoes, I could buy earrings, and I still do better on Amazon with earrings, and I can get buy sports stuff. But that's it. There's really nothing there. And
Right.
then there's one in Johnson City, which is an hour away. But I was watching this the other day, this Doctor Sleep, and there's a scene that I don't remember being in the theatrical that may have because you watched the theatrical again. Oh, the Voodoo thing. I bought it on Voodoo, and it had the director's cut. That was the point of all that. And then all the behind the scenes stuff. So the interviews with Stephen King, all that stuff was on there. I was like, oh, fucking tits. It's like I bought the Blu-ray. But there's a scene where Danny, as a kid, changes his eye color.
Yes.
Is
Yes.
that in the theatrical release?
No.
Because it hit me out of the blue after thinking about The Shining. It's like, well, he's a little brown-eyed boy, and
Yeah.
then you watch the whole start of Doctor Sleep when they're showing little Danny, this actor again, little brown-eyed boy, but Ewan McGregor is a blue-eyed guy, so he changed his eye color just by using his shine. And that's
Yeah.
something that was in the director's cut that wasn't in the theatrical version. I'm
Right.
asking.
It ain't.
Oh, okay. Wow,
Right.
that's
I mean, I could be a little off on that, but now that you remind me, I'm thinking, and I'm like, no, I don't think it is.
This is just such a weird scene. It's not very long. It's just him staring into the mirror with his brown eyes. Close his eyes, open them, they're blue. It just threw me off. One of those little things was like, huh, I can see why that was cut. But it also helps make the transition to blue-eyed Ewan McGregor.
Right. And I don't remember that piano scene either in the theatrical version.
Yeah, I don't
Uh,
either. Now that you
yeah,
mention it, but I only saw that once. To be fair,
I mean, her playing the piano. I don't even think I remember. I don't even think she's playing the piano in the theatrical. The whole part is completely gone. But oh my! And I did my research, man. That guy that plays Crow is not from the Backstreet Boys. I was like, I just got like when I was watching the theatrical version, I was like, God damn it! I keep forgetting to check, so I just paused it, went online and Wikipedia'd it, and no, the guy's done a million movies, but no, that's not the Backstreet Boy guy,
well, that's like I thought the other cat was the dude from Sons of Anarchy,
and
and
he's not.
it's not.
Okay.
The got kind of a grayish beard, curly hair. I really thought that was the guy from Sons of Anarchy. It was not.
Hmm. Interesting.
The only guy I absolutely know for sure was Henry Thomas that played Elliot in E.T., played the Jack Nicholson role.
Yeah, that's wild. That's wild when you told me that on the last episode. I was like, wow. You know, I'm not the biggest ET fan, but I've seen it and I know who you're talking about. He's the kid on the bike with
Right.
ET. But
See,
yeah,
and
I
I
was like,
remember that movie because I was my dad was stationed at Fort Bragg, North Carolina, and that's when that came out, and it was at the movie theater for weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks. I
it
mean,
was
just
the biggest movie of all time at that time.
well,
I
you know
believe,
why Spielberg took so long to release it on VHS, right?
no.
He was so angry that it lost to Gandhi. Now, this is what I heard through the rumor mill all these years ago that it lost the what best movie to Gandhi. That he shelved it. Took years for him to release that.
And also they robbed him. They didn't even give him a nomination for directing Jaws. Not even a nomination. He was completely robbed on that. I mean, come on, that's or Robert. I mean, come on. I mean, I know I'm the biggest Jaws fan and blah blah, and I'm a little biased, but come on, man. One of the
Well,
greatest scenes in history is the Indianapolis scene, and Robert Shaw doesn't get a fucking nomination. Are you
right.
fucking kidding me? And the amount of bullshit this motherfucker went through to make that goddamn movie, only for you know, the movie company coming down on him, almost firing him 100 times. And what does he deliver? The biggest fucking summer blockbuster ever, and it's not just a fucking shark movie. I mean, the characters, you can invest in the characters. That movie is just so fucking well made, other
I
than the
I don't
fake looking shark.
disagree. It's definitely not my favorite movie. Um, but I keep seeing and hearing people say, "Oh, my all-time favorite movie, Jaws." I was
It
like,
is.
let me go watch this stupid shark movie again because that's what I was thinking, stupid shark movie. But no, you can get invested in these characters, which helps. Otherwise, it's just a cheesy horror movie. Because I've seen a lot of shark movies and they all suck.
Yeah, there's only one shark movie, and that's Jaws.
Right, and the
Everything
rest of
else
them
is
were
like,
horrible. I didn't
yeah.
like two. I didn't like 3D. I didn't like four.
No, they were all bad. I mean, two was like the best of them of the later three, and that one's bad. So I can tell you, three or four is like just beyond ridiculous. But
Yeah, and you heard they're thinking about remaking it, right?
yeah, but that rumor's been going on for a while, but now the new rumor is they're gonna remake it, and Spielberg's gonna be involved. And I'm kind of like, I don't think so. I think this is more fake news because Spielberg has said on countless occasions that if you ever CGI this shit, it's gonna be terrible. You know, I mean, yeah,
Well,
the
look at
shark.
Jaws 3D. That shark looked terrible in that.
They all did. Even the fourth one is like fucking ridiculous. They all look bad, but
It looked as bad as Christopher Reeve flying as Superman 4.
I don't even remember that movie. I like
That's what.
Superman 2 with Bowda Zod, or
Yeah,
what's his
yeah,
name? Was it Zod?
yeah. General Zod.
Neil to Zod. That's what it was.
Yeah,
I
Neil
like that
Walker
movie.
Zod.
That movie was awesome.
Yeah, 1 and 2 were great. But that's why Superman Returns took place 5 years after Superman 2. They forgot the one with Richard Pryor. They forgot 4 altogether. So no, we're not even including that shit in the canon.
Yeah. Yeah, I pretty much. I'm not a superhero guy, but I've seen those movies. I don't even remember the Richard Pryor one. Is that the one where Superman gets drunk?
Yeah, yeah. They created the kryptonite, and instead of killing him, it just turned him into an asshole.
Yeah, I don't remember that movie. I just vaguely remember the bar scene with him getting drunk.
Getting drunk and shooting the peanuts through the mirror, flicking them.
Yeah, you see, now I want to see it again. I don't remember none of that.
It's horrible. I have all four of them. I actually have all the Superman movies. The four with Christopher Reeve, Superman Returns, Man of Steel, and then the two Justice League, Batman vs Superman and Justice League movies. Because I love Superman. I think out of all the superheroes, him and Wolverine and Thor are my favorites. I
Right.
can watch those shits all the time.
Yeah, I don't like them. I'm not a superhero guy, especially these Marvel movies and shit like that. It's like it's just not my thing. But then again, I wasn't raised on comic books. I was raised on Mad Magazine, believe it or not.
I
That was
got you.
my comic book.
I love
Mad
Mad
Magazine,
Magazine as well.
Cracked, and Crazy. Those three magazines. That's the one that I would buy, not, Incredible Hulk and shit like that.
Yeah, Doctor Sleep. I was impressed with this, for several reasons. Now I haven't read this book. I did read The Shining. I didn't even know this was a book. It came out in 2013, I guess. The changes they had to make in order to make it work as a film were brilliant because I did do a little bit of research, and in the book, The Shining, the Overlook blows up, and in Doctor Sleep, they have to go back to the campground that used to be the Overlook Hotel to deal with these ghosts. So this guy that who's a Mike Flanagan that
Uh, yeah.
directed this one, he decided he was going to incorporate the Kubrick ending, leave the Overlook standing. It just abandoned and shut down and boarded up. And I thought that was brilliant to give a nod to Kubrick while still giving a nod to Stephen King and fusing both movies together, or both books together. Yeah, no, book and film together. I think was just brilliant, which really adds to why this is such a good movie. And the actors they got to play all these parts. I mean, all the different ghosts from The Shining. Hell, half of these people are probably dead, that
Yeah.
played those roles back in 1980.
But
Now,
they recreated them perfectly. I mean, they all look like those characters. Like, but we're running ahead of this because that's the at the end of the movie.
all right, well,
You
let's
know.
back it up. Let's back it
Well,
up.
back it up. Like, I gotta say, this movie is so good that to me, even watching the director's cut, it's 3 hours long, but the flow is so good that there's. I've never seen a 3 hour movie that didn't even leave at least have one boring part, because even the dialogue was very interesting.
Yeah,
You
it
know,
never dragged once. And
not
that is
once.
that is impressive, especially the 3 hour version. Normally if you cut shit out, there's a reason for it. I don't know if it was just to keep asses in the seats in the theater or what, but the 3 hour version is every bit as good.
Yeah, no, the 3 hour version, what they cut out is some of it's kind of vital. What they did was they cut out certain parts of the theatrical, because what they did was kind of like, okay, this will explain it without all this other talk. But all
Right.
that other talk is really good and interesting. But they say, well, we can't cut it all out because it won't make sense. But like the piano scene, now I got to go back and look at the theatrical to see if that was in there. Piano scenes is an incredible build up for the little girl. Incredible.
Right.
Because as far as I remember, her powers began at her birthday party. You know, that's when
Right.
he with the spoons and shit. But
Yeah, yeah. Calling out the what the hell was it? Wasn't it a magician at her party? Something like that.
yeah, with a hat, he had the
Yeah.
little hat. But the opening scene is awesome. I love how the opening scene starts like from above, going down on trees,
Right.
and then it goes to the little girl. Violet was her name, I think. Violet.
Right.
And she's
Yeah,
so
yeah. Violet for Violet by the lake.
yeah, and she's extremely adorable. What a cute little girl, and so her whole mannerisms. She's just so cute. going to the flowers and going up to Rose the Hat, like, naive, but not really scared, but, you can tell she's a little nervous.
Oh, yes.
Brilliant little actress. And, and then when each person would show up and she's like, no, they're my friends. Don't worry about it. So she kind of like put her at ease. And believe me, watching this shit in the theater for the first time, last thing I was expecting was they were going to murder this little girl,
Right, right. And
And
the thing is, in the theatrical version, you don't get that feeling. You just see she's missing. That it doesn't really come out till a little bit later.
yeah, because they all run up. Well, even in extended version, they don't show them killing her. They
Right,
just show them running up to her, and then it cuts to another scene. But it's just so like it's like very innocent, but yet it's so dark how that scene ends that you're like, oh shit. But yeah, you don't think she's dead, even when they superimpose like her picture on a missing persons thing. You
right,
still don't know she's dead yet. It
right. You
wasn't
think she's
so.
just kidnapped for some weird
Yeah,
reason.
exactly. You just think she's kidnapped till till she Rose the Hat opens that little canister, going, she's violent. She's tastes like flowers.
Yeah,
That's when you realize she's dead.
right. And that's supposed to take place years later because the violent abduction takes place when Danny and Wendy are living in
Yeah,
Florida. He's
it's
still a little boy.
it's 1980. They
Yeah,
even show it on the screen, 1980. And yeah, I can't remember what year it was because they did cut to many years later when Danny was grown. Oh, now I remember the other little kid that died. But yeah, I'm pretty sure it had to do with Shining. Remember when Danny woke up with that chick and from the bar,
yeah,
and there was a little baby in the house, a little kid.
yeah. And she
And
like aspirated on vomit.
yeah, she
The
put
woman did.
he put the baby on the bed, but then later, like her dead body shows up on Danny's bed, and
Yeah,
the little kid turns around and goes, "Mommy," and the little kid's dead.
yeah,
And that scene is so cool because when she's talking to him, there's a fly on her eye. That
right.
shit's wicked, man. There's a
That
fucking fly on her eye.
Yeah, that was actually a pretty creepy scene when the baby
Extremely.
goes bah, bah. That
Yeah.
actually made me jump a little bit.
Yeah. And he was like, what the fuck? You know? Yeah, that's the other kid I was thinking of. So yeah, there's three little kids, and they haven't found us yet. She said it twice.
Yeah,
They're
yeah.
still
So
dead
you
at
know
the
the
house.
baby starved to death. That's
Right.
horrifying.
Oh, yeah, it's fucking yeah, and it's just so. This movie's fucked up, you know.
You open with as we're saying the little Violet and Rose the Hat, and then the True Knot surrounding her. You don't really see what happens. You find that out later when they get to push her. I forget what her name is, the blonde girl there.
Yeah, what do you call her something? Because she cut the guy's face, so they gave her a name, Spider Cut or something like that. Spider Bite, I forgot.
Yeah, something
But
like that. Snake bite, something.
Snake Bite, that's what it was. Snake
Yeah.
Bite, and that was wicked too when they killed her. But they didn't really kill her. I mean, they did kill her technically, but they made her part of the knot because to be part of the true knot, you have to die. You
Yeah,
know,
it's basically becoming a vampire if you think about it.
yeah, in a way. But these vampires can get killed without being a stake through the heart. You could just put a bullet in them and kill them.
Sure.
But that scene was wicked too because she's like after she comes back to life, she's like, "You told me it wasn't gonna hurt," and then Rose says the coolest line because she's so fucking evil. She's like, "Well, you don't feel pain now, do you?" It's like, yeah, it's like,
No,
yeah, but you told me it wasn't gonna hurt.
she's got to be the most evil
Yeah.
villainess I've seen in a film because nobody with tits that nice needs to be that goddamn raw.
So, dude, I'm telling you, watching this movie, I'm like, fuck it, kill me, man. If I get to bang you in the afterlife, fuck it, throw some smoke in my mouth and do the little true knot speech. But
Oh God,
I gotta give
gorgeous.
I gotta give some points why this movie is so amazing to me.
Absolutely.
One, the murders of the little girl is enough, but the way that this is what I love, and you don't see this in movies, man. This Rose the Hat is so evil and fucked up, but yet throughout the movie, she gets pimp slapped a lot by this little girl. You
Right.
know, I mean, she fucks Rose the Hat up
Yeah,
constantly.
little Abra is a beast.
Oh, she fucks her up, man. I mean, even before they ever met, and then when she flies to her house, she outsmarts Rose the Hat constantly. But Rose the Hat is like, she's so well put together, like you can't picture her get fooled. And yet this little girl fucks her up, man, constantly. Like at the grocery store, throws her across the room, get the fuck out of my head.
Yeah.
And the way she like flies and her, just Rose the Hat's like the girl should have won an Oscar. Her facial expressions when she gets owned, you can't get no better acting than that.
Oh
Because
yeah, when she's in the little girl's room and she's talking shit about her filing cabinet,
yeah,
and then the drawer slams on her hand, and Abra gets into her head, and she's going through her cathedral she was just bragging about. Oh, it's fucking brilliant.
no. And then they were talking about, well, we're gonna kill her, or we're gonna make her part of the nun. He's like, no, we can't put her in a nun. That girl's way too powerful,
Right.
but we can keep her alive. And the guy's like, are you fucking nuts?
Yeah.
We can't, and it would have been a bad idea if they captured her and kept her alive because she would have done something fucked up and got out of it. Probably would have wasted them all. But just the mannerisms of this Rose the Hat being so owned and the faces she would make when she was. I mean, I don't know, man. I'm telling you,
It was just extreme shock. Like, how the hell does a child do this?
yeah, yeah, because at the whole time, she's thinking, "Wow, this girl's very powerful," and then like before she ever went to the room, she still was like a little cocky, like yeah, I mean, this girl's got major powers. We're gonna get her and fuck her up. But then when she gets there, it's a whole new thing. It's like the girl got in my head,
Yeah.
and the dude was like, "What? That's never happened before." He's like, "Yeah, this girl is beyond powerful."
Well,
And
she was powerful enough where you couldn't really see her face when Abra was talking to her, talking
yeah,
shit to her.
yeah, her hair was blue too.
Her hair's the wrong color. Her eyes are completely smudged out. You can't really
Yeah,
see it, from the top of her lips up. No,
but
it was really well done.
in a way, like fucking the smartest guy in the knot was Crow Daddy because he did what Rose the Hat couldn't do. He actually did end up fucking getting the little girl,
Right.
you know, and and that's another I mean, fuck it, we'll go all over the place. Another brutal scene. They kill her father.
Yeah.
It's like I mean, it's just no mercy anywhere. It's this movie is like, yeah, it's a fantasy and everything, but also at the same time, hey man, this is real life shit. And how stuff happens. Like, well, this ain't Hollywood. When
Right.
shit happens in real life. This movie was like real life shit. This will, you're not going to expect a little baseball kid to get killed, or the little girl in the beginning, or even the little baby on the bed with the mom, but they all die, and
Right.
that's unheard of. I mean, maybe one kid death in a movie, maybe one, but three, and the father, and it's just and I love too, going back to the beginning of the movie. I love after they give him the little secret about the box,
Right.
and he's sitting watching Bugs Bunny with his mom,
Yep.
and he just nonchalantly walks to the bathroom, opens the door. That old decrepit naked woman comes out of the bathtub like in The Shining,
Yeah,
and he
with a big
nonch
smile on her face. She thinks she's
yeah,
got him.
yeah, exactly. So he closes the door nonchalantly. You hear the girl scream, and they have little flashes of the box.
Yeah.
So he like put her in the box, and then he just walks right out and sits back with mom. That's when Danny becomes like a badass. Like you
Right.
could tell he's not scared anymore, and he's got this power. But then later on in life, he was trying to forget it.
Yeah, it's like he was trying to stun it because at that point he becomes much like his dad, an alcoholic.
Yeah,
Getting into bar fights, banging whores, doing coke.
right. Yeah, real life shit. You know,
Right. Right.
and And then he goes to and even the fucking 12-step program, the rehab, which is usually boring in movies. It's great. He talks about his dad. There's a great flow to it, but but he's still got that power in this little girl. That's the one part. If there's anything I don't understand about this movie, but at the same time I'm thinking maybe it's because of the power of The Shining, is how that little girl found him and started writing on the wall and
Writing
shit.
on the wall. Yeah, because I forget what his buddy's name was, but it becomes his sponsor.
Right.
This guy, because Daddy figures out when the woman's dead on the bed, and he sets the baby down next to her, walks out with her buddy,
Yeah.
steals the buddy, and I guess at that point he figures out he's hit rock bottom, so he leaves, ends up in the town. This guy finds him an apartment, and it's got a chalkboard wall. What did the landlady say? The guy that
The
lived there
guy that
before
lived
was doing his
before.
math equations.
Yeah. Yeah, before the guy was writing on the walls and shit. Yeah.
Yeah, so you got Abra, who I think she's East Coast because this is more middle of the country where he's living now. Projecting to him, writing on the wall, "Hello, good morning," and stuff like that. That's wild in its own right, which probably should have led us to believe how strong her power is because it's obviously stronger than Danny's ever was.
Oh, cool. No, she's probably the strongest ever. I mean, she could see the true knot from the other side of the country.
Right,
That's another thing. Like, and this Rose the Hat is like maybe even farther. It's like, how the fuck can she see us from that far? And that's
right,
how much power this little girl had. And I don't and again, it's unexpected. You're gonna get a little black girl to be like the most powerful, of the Shining. Brilliant. It's just brilliant. It's the unexpected, but Hollywood is the way Hollywood is, everything's expected.
right.
And this movie was just full of originality. I don't know, man. I mean, even though it's nothing like Stanley Kubrick's vision, I could see him be very proud of this movie because of the realism of this fantasy type situation, you know?
Oh yeah, oh yeah. It's well, strong homage is paid to Kubrick in the end of the movie anyway.
Yeah.
And a little bit in the beginning because they show a little bit of the overlook at the beginning. But man, it's like I almost don't want to go to the end because it's like we're talking about Abra, we're talking about Rose the Hat, and we're forgetting that Danny is the catalyst in all of this.
And also, Danny, as a little kid, like, in the beginning, in the extended version, there's another scene of him as a little kid later on when he's staring at the mirror and shit.
Uh-huh.
That's not in the theatrical version. So, like in the theatrical version, it starts off with Danny as a little kid, build it up, and then it flashes when he's older. But
Right.
after he becomes older, there is a flashback scene, and also at the end, of course, there's that, the very last scene. But well, not the last scene, but the last scene in the Overlook when
Right.
the mom shows up. But it's just so I don't know, man. I'm gonna start repeating myself, but it's just so fucking well done and so interesting visually, and The Shining. You got to watch a million documentaries to get this and that. Doctor Sleep, you don't have to look into nothing as long as you know The Shining.
Right.
And even you don't even have to know The Shining with every little fucking glowing detail about it. The overall this fucking movie took The Shining and just made it perfect without any abstract or any little heading meanings like Stanley Kubrick loved to put in scenes, little things that that aren't like the norm. I mean, as much as I'm glowing over Doctor Sleep, to me, The Shining may be more brilliant. I may be saying that because I've lived with it longer, but it's still mentally and visually extremely satisfying. And I think Doctor Sleep pulls that. The Oscars just passed, right? The Oscars just happened.
Yeah, I think so.
I don't think it got any nominations, did it? I don't know. I didn't look into it.
I don't know. I don't pay attention to that stuff anymore.
That shit should have swept the Oscars. It's ridiculous. And I'm telling you right now, man, I'm calling it. This movie, Doctor Sleep, is going to be such a cult classic when everybody finally gets around to seeing it. When people start discovering it on, on HBO or, hopefully they'll put it up on Netflix. That's what
Right.
I'm hoping. Because if that happens, forget it. It's going to blow up to, dude, you're going to start seeing memes on Dr. Sleep. And because this movie is just so fucking perfect.
It really is. And even the middle part, I mean, where you find out that Dan gets his name because he goes by Dan now. His nickname, Dr. Sleep, comes from dying patients in a nursing home.
Yeah, the guy dying called him Dr. Sleep, right? That's where it came from.
Yeah.
And the cat, that's another eerie thing about that movie, the cat. The cat would always go in the rooms when, when somebody's about to die.
Well, see, I've read actual stories like that
Oh, yeah?
where nursing homes will have a cat, and just before a resident passes away, the cat will go and lay on their bed. So
Wow.
that's steeped in a little bit of reality right there.
Ooh, I did not know that. That's
So
creepy.
so that one touched me in a way because I used to do nursing home work. I did it for 7 years.
Wow. I did not know that.
Yeah, so that was very creepy. And Dan, with being able to talk with his mind, could talk directly into somebody's mind and put them at ease. It made
Hmm.
everything very peaceful for these people who were terrified. And that I think, 'cause I think, a lot of people have what I call irrational fears. Like if you live in the Midwest and your fear is getting eaten by a shark, well, you're a fucking moron. You don't live anywhere near an ocean.
Yeah.
I'm deathly afraid of snakes and I'm deathly afraid of heights. So I avoid those two things. I don't go into the goddamn woods and I don't go up. But death terrifies me.
Well, bushy, height, snakes, all that shit doesn't scare me. You know what scares me? The only thing that scares me in this life, you know what that is?
That.
If Sammy Hagar ever returned to Van Halen. Petrifies me.
Oh, it'll never happen. It'll never happen.
Oh, thank God.
Ah.
Anyway, so where were we at in the movie now?
Well, the whole Doctor Sleep thing. A death is another thing that terrifies me, and it's because I'm a man with no faith. You know, and
Right.
if there's truly nothing after, how terrifying is this? You get anywhere between 50 and 80 years, and then you're fucking done. That's it. You're gone. You're forgotten.
Yeah, I
Eh,
mean that's life. I mean, I won't. I'll be immortal. But yeah, for you, I understand.
yeah,
No,
yeah,
no.
exactly. But
Here's the thing.
Dan's able to tell these people, that you go on, you
Right.
know, and the guy goes straight at ease. He knows why the cat's there, you know. And because people think old people they're senile, they don't know anything. No, they pay attention to everything because they can't get around as fast, so they see everything. And he's totally put at ease. He calms down. He's like, I can see my wife, and then he
Yeah.
passes peacefully. And
But a little smoke comes out of his mouth. I
well,
mean, are
that's.
they are they trying to tell us everybody has The Shining?
I think everybody has steam. I don't know if it's people that have the shine. I think have much more,
Right.
and that's why the true knot has to torture and kill because it releases it in a deeper way, I guess, or in a better way, makes it stronger.
Yeah, I always, and I was thinking that, all right, here she is food shopping. So I'm thinking, all right, they need to eat to live like the rest of us, like humans.
Right.
But I was always under the impression the reason they get steam and shit is like to get all fucking drugged out. I don't know. I guess it's to improve their shining powers.
I don't
Because if
know.
no, I don't think so. I don't think so because look at all the fucking steam they got out of the little baseball kid. I
Oh,
mean, come on, that's a lot of steam they got out of the little kid, and yet the old dude ends up dying.
right.
They called it cycling, but he died.
Yeah.
So obviously the steam doesn't like give you power, and because that old guy lived what centuries,
Centuries. Yeah. He said he
through the
saw empires rise and fall. He was like the
yeah,
oldest of the bunch.
right,
Yeah, I think it just it,
that
it
that's a
elongates your
little.
life.
Yeah, that's a little. Yeah, there you go. That's what it does. It elongates your life, but it doesn't give you eternal life. It gives you centuries of life
Yeah, yeah. Live
because
long, eat well. Is that what she said?
yeah, and you see when the old guy died, when all the steam came out of him, they all fucking jumped in like wow, they all
Right.
fucking
Well,
flipped
because
up
he
that shit.
obviously he also shined.
Oh no, no, he had some killer centuries worth of steam there, man.
Right.
That's some, but I mean, at the same time, man, you should have grabbed a canister for that guy.
I think Rose was a little upset.
Yeah, they weren't thinking straight, and
Right.
that's right when Rose got pushed back. There was one person online, and I'm not bashing people. Look, everybody's got their opinions.
Sure.
One guy said, "God, I love Doctor Sleep so much. The only thing I hated about it was when she like floated to that, when she was flying to." I think that scene was so cool because not so much of her floating to the place, but when she went back, because this chick like just fucking made her go back 100 million miles an hour.
Right.
You,
Right.
you saw she went there. Oh man, that like made up for. I mean, when I first saw it and her floating there, I didn't think, what is this stupid shit? This isn't stupid. I was just like interested. I was just a little interested. But
Well, yeah,
when she,
she's circling the planet,
yeah.
trying to find this girl.
Oh, that's another thing. Bushy was another very important deleted scene was the earthquake. That's how they found her
Right.
because of the earthquake. That was deleted from the original one. The guy found an article online about an earthquake that happened, and then the experts over there going, "There was no earthquake. We don't know. We don't understand how this tremble happened."
Right.
And that's how they found out where she was.
Right.
They didn't explain that in the theatrical version.
See, I've got to go back and watch that one. See, I was so excited to watch the director's cut that I haven't even looked at the theatrical release at all.
I may be wrong, but it's just my train of thought here, because it is hard, to sit down and watch theatrical and then to find a little. You have to like get two fucking two TVs, two DVD Blu-ray players, and play them both back to back to know exactly what's what. But I'm almost positive that whole earthquake thing was not explained in the theatrical version because that's how they hunted her down. That's
Right.
how they found out what neighborhood she was in. You know,
Yeah,
I
down
just watching
down to the house.
mhm. Watching the theatrical version, you just feel like it's the power of The Shining that they found her. But no,
Right.
they got a little information of
Yeah, they
if,
got a clue.
and they were like, well, maybe it's not, but it's worth taking a look.
Right.
It was like a
Right.
50-50 thing.
Yeah, and that's what makes the movie so fun. Is you go from seeing Dan all chill and enjoying life, he's clean and sober, he's having these little laugh talks with this girl, into shit's really getting real. And I guess it gets real around the time, well, Red Rub shows up on his wall,
Yeah,
and
that's when
that's
they killed the little baseball kid.
Baseball Boy. And that's what I say is probably the most brutal scene I have seen in a film without really showing anything. But that kid sold it, man. He sold it. His screams, his tears, his crying.
His fear.
I was uncomfortable.
Yeah, it is a extremely uncomfortable scene where he says, "Oh, please, you're not gonna hurt me, are you gonna hurt me?" And she's like, "Yes."
Right,
That's fucked up, man. And the way that he screams, it's just so realistic. It's disturbing. And again, I could be wrong, but I think that murder scene was even longer in the uncut version. They went on a little long torturing the kid. With Violet, you don't see it, but with the baseball kid, they go all out. I mean, you don't actually see the knife going into him.
no, you just see like blood splash on
Yeah,
his face
on
and
his face. Yeah,
it is his screams and his you know what's going on.
yeah,
And that's why I say it's the most brutal scene I've ever seen that shows nothing.
yeah. He's pleading for his life to, like basically people that are kind of like the Terminator. No remorse, no feeling. All they're thinking about is that
Is
steam.
that steam. And the
Nothing
funny
you can.
part is, I watched the special feature stuff, and the kid had a ball doing that scene. The people doing the scene, they had to do a couple takes because they kept turning away because it was bothering them.
Yeah. No, it's terrible. And
That
that's
that
another
kid
thing.
sold the hell out of that scene.
Yeah.
That scene alone was Oscar worthy, if you ask me.
Another criticism I've seen online was some people said, I love the movie, but I have a child. And it wasn't easy watching that, you know? And I don't have no kids that I know of. And that really fucking fucked me up watching that, you know?
Oh, it was absolutely brutal because that's kind of the rule, ain't it? You don't show kids being tortured.
But
You
they
don't
did. They showed his face being tortured.
like
And
you don't do that.
yeah, what you brought up in that last episode when we were talking about The Shining, I did pay attention to the baseball game, and the original Danny was in that scene. He did have a line,
Yeah,
you
he
know.
did the talking part. He's talking
Yeah,
about the kid having an arm.
right. Yeah, because you know, so I could be wrong. I thought you said something like if you blink, you miss him. But
I did say something like that because that's what I read. But
right,
when I went back and watched it, and you really look at the guy, you're like, no, that's fucking Danny.
it is a very very quick scene though. But he
Yeah,
does have a line.
20
He actually.
seconds maybe.
Yeah, he does. Maybe even less. He says something, and then they go back to the baseball game.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
I was
He's
paying
basically
attention to
talking
that.
about this kid, number whatever he is, having a hell of an arm.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. That's it. That's what he said, and which is great, man. Bring him back.
Yeah, because
You
he's
know,
done no real acting since The Shining. I guess he did something, but after that he was done.
I believe he did a TV show when I read up on him. It was I think he did a TV spot when he was still a little kid, and then he just stopped. Then
Right.
he stopped. He quit acting, but it's so cool that they brought him back for that. Would
Yeah,
have been
yeah.
cool if they brought a couple other people that are still with us, like a brief Jack Nicholson role, like at the baseball game too. Or Shelley Duvall, like at the being one of the people that die at the fucking what was that called, hospice?
Right.
You know,
Isn't
but
isn't she batshit crazy now?
yeah, she is. Well, she
Okay.
looks it, that's for sure. I
Right.
mean, she's not. She's big. She's huge. Or back
Like I
then,
said, I preferred her at Popeye
right?
to The Shining. The only reason she got the Shining role is her ability to scream and look terrified because her
She
acting
was,
sucked.
and she fucking hated Stanley Kubrick. They were at each other's throats that whole fucking movie. They really didn't get along,
Wow.
and a lot of those scenes where she's all pissed off and shit was very real, because she was just so upset with Stanley Kubrick. But yeah, going back to Doctor Sleep, so they kill the kid, and while they're killing the kid, the little girl's asleep,
Yeah,
but
she's seeing it.
she's seeing it, and
Right.
she's freaking out, and that's where it gets extremely interesting in the plot because now she can see them,
Right.
see what they're doing, and because the guy picked up the baseball glove
Uh-huh.
and
And
put
that's
it
the
on.
guy, that's the guy that I thought was his Sons of Anarchy, by the way. That guy was
Right.
not.
Yeah, just the reason the guy put on that baseball glove gave her enough power to fucking be in the van with them at
Right.
one point.
Well, yeah,
And
'cause she
knowing
told
it's,
Danny, she said, get the glove. He had it on. I could find him that way.
yeah, and
See, I
yeah,
didn't have to watch this bitch today to know what's going on.
right. Well, no, I'm telling you shit I've already known for since I've seen the movie, but I just want to refresh myself. But
Sure.
by putting on the extended version today and watching the theatrical version like 4 or 5 days ago, I'm old, dude. It's like, was this actually in the theatrical version? It was like, but some parts I'm like, I'm pretty sure this wasn't in the. I gotta live with it much longer to find out what's what. I mean, everybody out there, man, if you're listening to this and you haven't seen it, you're fucked because we're giving it all away. Hopefully everybody listening saw this fucking movie.
For
You
real.
know,
For real.
but yeah, just that's when it starts getting very interesting because now she can track them, and again they're all going to the house, but there's a little uh, the part where they go in the forest.
Oh, I,
Um,
I love that scene.
that scene is so good because there's Abner on the park bench, and snake bites walking up to her, and
And
then
injects her.
and injects her, and is like, man, that wasn't hard. And then it's a fucking teddy bear
Teddy
that
bear, yeah.
that was injected, and she's like, what the fuck? And then that's
Yeah,
when they start getting shot. And what's really intense about the scene is like right when one of them gets shot, Rose the Hat feels it.
right.
She's like, get out of there.
Yeah, she's screaming. She's like meditating because that's what
Yeah,
she does is meditates. And
and again, it's so cool to see the bad guy freaking out. The bad person, the villain, getting owned again. She got owned several times. And the way that Rose the Hat carries herself, it seems like it's impossible to own her. But they did,
right,
you
so it's
know?
always you get the feeling it's pure shock and pure terror. How is this happening?
Yeah,
And at the same time, you get pure rage.
right.
And
Yeah,
that's and they basically Dan and his sponsor basically take out the whole True Knot. Who was a snake bite there? She ends up just before dying, telling dude to kill himself because she has that power to push, power of suggestion. And he blows his brains out. And I wasn't ready for that scene either. I was like, ah, you know, because he's even an endearing character.
right.
You really like him. He helped Dan come out of his alcoholism. He gives him an apartment. He gives him a job. He's just a good guy. It doesn't even believe any of this bullshit Dan's telling him, until he sees it for himself. I, I, I cannot sing enough praises about this. But who's that other cat? Man, I forget his name. They all have such weird fucking names. What is it, Crow Daddy?
Yeah, Crow Daddy's the one that I thought was a Backstreet Boy.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the guy I thought that was the Backstreet Boy. He looks
But
just like him, but then on Wikipedia, I mean, he looks much older. But God, that guy looks exactly like one of the Backstreet Boys with the thin
nice.
mustache. I
Right.
think, or maybe it's in sync. I don't know. I get them confused.
I know all the boy bands are the same.
Yeah.
He could have been one of the new kids on the block for all I know. At least the age would be right.
Right. Yeah. 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 He would look more like that. But yeah, because when I went to the theater, I'm like, dude, that's the dude from the Backstreet Boys. It was just it's very confusing. I mean, if ever this dude his name is Zon McLaren. I have his Wikipedia thing up now. And boy, if ever he went on a shooting spree and killed people, and they got to get the Backstreet Boy to play him in a movie. you know, it's just like him.
That's great. That's great. It's funny. I just pulled up Wiki. I thought Daddy had moved to the Midwest. It was fucking New Hampshire. So he didn't even go out west. He just went from Florida and went north.
Wow. Well, yeah. So now we're going into the where they're shooting all the people up,
Right.
and what's really cool about that was Snakebite shows that she even has more power than Danny because she makes him go to sleep.
Right. It
You know,
took her a
like,
few tries.
yeah, but
It
she
wasn't
knocked his
easy.
ass
She's
out.
like, look, bitch.
Right. She knocked his ass out, and then what do you call but right when she was about to kill him, Danny's buddy comes and shoots her.
Right.
But boy, right before she dies, she tells him, "Kill yourself." I mean, the guy doesn't hesitate.
No. Puts the
Blows him
rifle underneath his chin and bang.
fucked up. Another unexpected turn.
Yeah,
You know,
that's what I was saying. I was just like, good God, because he's such a good character. You really,
yeah,
that's one of the great things about this film. It was done so well, and I'm going to have to read this book because if Stephen King wrote these characters as well as who was it there? Mike Flanagan directed these characters. Wow, just absolutely wow, because it's a great character driven story.
right.
It's not just about all your shock and awe, which is what a lot of horror films are, but that's what made The Shining so great, the Kubrick, interpretation. But now you got little Abra, she's been captured, She's doped up. You got Crow Daddy has got her. And Dan does a little trick we didn't see he had, where he takes over her body.
Yeah, yeah. Cause she's like half awake, so maybe that helped.
She's all drugged up and shit.
But yeah, he got in the van.
Yeah, and it was, he can see everything that's going on and causes Crow Daddy to, crash the van.
And I love right before it crashed, he said, "You ain't wearing your seatbelt." That shit's badass.
Oh yeah, yeah. He's like, must be good to know you're not going to die, or something
Yeah.
to that effect.
I see you ain't wearing your seatbelt, and bam.
But the best part of all that is, Abra comes to, it's her. Danny's not in her anymore. She gets out of the van. She's like, I hope that hurts.
Yeah, that's awesome when she said that.
And then as she's walking away, Rose the Hat shows up in her ghost form, I guess, because it's not really her. I forget what it's called when you can project your body out. There is a term for that.
Right.
Because I know my daughter's mother was into all that shit. She was, into Wiccan religion, and I forget what that's called, but that's what Rose the Hat does. So the whole circling the globe and finding the United States and then floating down to her town, to her street, to her block, that didn't bother me because I've dealt with people thinking that stuff before. But you find out what a badass this little girl is. She don't give a fuck. She sees her standing there, and Rose is pissed. I mean, the rage in her face. There's no
Yeah.
fear there. It's absolute rage.
No, she's pissed because they killed all her fucking partners.
Her whole clan.
The whole
And,
knot is dead.
and Abra just walks right through her like she don't even matter.
Right. Like nothing.
And then we're getting to to the meat and potatoes is where we're tying in the Kubrick version to this. The actual original Shining book. Kubrick twisted up a lot.
Yeah,
But this
because
movie decides to pay homage to that.
and bring back the Overlook, which was burned down on The Shining.
Absolutely.
And what a great way. I mean, they add a little bit of The Shining to the ending of the movie. Well, a lot of
Sure.
Shining,
Oh
but
yeah. Oh yeah. The
but
whole
but
come
it
and take your
connects.
medicine and
Yeah, but it connects so well with the story we've just been looking at. It's like, okay, now we're gonna make her go over there, Rose the Hat, and she shows up. And I always love. She said it like 8 times in the movie. Well, hi there.
yeah.
Just the way she says that. It's so condescending how she does it, but so hot too at the same time.
Oh, that's
It's
a
like, oh
sexy
my,
woman. I
oh,
like
that's
how
the
she looked
hottest
at Dad
villain
and
ever.
said, "How did you slip past us?"
Yeah, yeah. Oh my God, where have you been?
yeah.
She was freaking out over him. You
Now
know?
here's a fun thing. If you remember our Shining episode, you remember I was going off about the bourbon thing. The
Yeah,
four
yeah,
Jack
yeah.
Daniels. Now
Right,
with this, when Henry Thomas is playing the Jack Nicholson role, but has no knowledge of being Dan's dad, he says, "If I remember right, you're a whiskey man." It pours a Jack Daniels.
right.
So, God damn it, is it bourbon
No,
or is it
yeah.
fucking whiskey?
Well, here's the thing, and I can't remember verbatim what this guy said, but there was a comment on, I think, the YouTube video of our version, of my version. A guy did explain, look, it's technically not bourbon, and he did go on to say it really is whiskey, not bourbon. But, there is a loophole there. There's a loophole. It's like, it's bourbon, but it's not. It's a weird way to explain it.
Well, I know
But,
that you looked it up last time we were
well,
talking, and
that's
it
Wikipedia.
technically could be called bourbon.
But that's Wikipedia.
Right.
Wikipedia, anybody can write that.
This is true.
But the way this guy
Excuse me.
explained it, it makes it sound like it's whiskey. Basically, the definition of Jack Daniels is whiskey, but there is a bourbon loophole in there. That's why I always thought for all my life, because I've been a Jack man. When I used to drink, that was my drink of choice. And I always thought I was drinking bourbon, always. And when I've had bourbon that wasn't Jack Daniels, tasted the same to me.
Okay,
I didn't.
see,
I
like
couldn't
I
tell the
like
difference.
Jim Beam. Jim Beam is straight Kentucky bourbon.
Right. I noticed the
Tastes
similarity.
nothing like Jack
Well,
Daniels.
I noticed a similarity, but then again, I mixed it with Coke. Maybe when you mix it with Coke, it tastes like Jack.
Maybe because I know that like I've got a fuck. It, it, I got a pretty big bottle of Jack Daniels here right now. I'm not drinking it because I wanted to be able to talk,
Mhm.
but I could drink it straight,
Right.
and
I don't like.
that's because of my ex-girlfriend.
I
But I'll
can't.
fill up a half a glass, half of a drinking glass, and now I can't slug it. I can slug a shot, but if I'm
Uh,
drinking a glass, it takes me 4 or 5, to get it down.
every time I'm drinking Jack without Coke straight, I puke. I got a weak gut, so I've always mixed it with soda after that Coke.
Yeah,
Though I
you're
haven't
jamming
had a taste of
my
Jack
head down
Daniels.
my gut.
Well, I did have a Jack and Coke at Rock and Pod last year, but before that, it's been like 7 years.
Nice, nice.
Okay, after they kill the Crow Daddy, uh, is that when they start going to the Overlook?
Yeah, because it's just Dan and Abra, and he say we're going to a place, to fight her, and that's when she calls her mother, or no, her mother calls her, and
Yeah,
all she says to Dan as the phone's ringing is, "What the hell does she say to him?"
I forgot, but I know she said something to the mom and then threw the cell phone
It,
out.
it's something about promise me we'll get a hold of her as soon as this is done, or something to that effect.
Right.
And all she does is answer the phone and says, "I love you," hangs up and throws the fucking phone out the goddamn van.
Yeah, because they can't track her that way.
Right. And
But
as a parent, that actually infuriated me because I hate it when I can't get a hold of my daughter.
right.
So as a parent, I couldn't imagine. Oh my God, my husband's dead. I got blood everywhere. My daughter's gone. And she answered the phone, said, "I loved you," and hangs up. But this might be my favorite part of the film because as they're driving to the Overlook, the scenes are almost. Did they use stock footage?
No, no, everything, and they even show the making of how they built the place. They actually built it to look identical to the original Outlook Hotel from The Shining, and it's crazy. It's creepy how to the T they even you even have the bare carpet
Right,
on the floor
right.
during that scene where
Oh, all
it's
those
kind.
internal sets. Yeah.
Yeah, they did all that. They rebuilt it all,
Yeah. And they were
and
very, very meticulous
oh,
because,
extremely meticulous. It looks identical like it.
I mean,
Up to the typewriter was still there. You
yeah,
know,
yeah,
and
with the papers.
yeah, and but we're cutting out like the incredible homage to Stanley Kubrick driving to the place because
Yeah.
they brought back the fucking music.
Oh, the music.
The only the only
I
difference is they're
I was
driving there at
just short
nighttime.
of standing up and cheering and clapping my hands
Yeah,
when they're driving to the Overlook, and the camera's going over that lake and the island in the middle of the lake, and that dun, 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 dun. I'm like, oh my God, yes.
but the difference is this was nighttime.
Right,
They're driving there in the nighttime where Stanley Kubrick was daytime. But
right.
yeah, and the same camera. That's the one part of the movie that's like all right, now we just spent this whole movie with slight little homages that are not like much to man, this is like identical. The only difference is nighttime.
Right.
And they get there and sure he's like, okay, she's here. And she walks in, well, hi there. You
Yeah.
know, and again, they throw her in the maze, and
Yes. Yes.
and this little girl is fucking with her, cutting
Kicking
her
her
leg,
ass. Just he's running by and cutting her.
and then finally she catches her and lifts her up, and you see that box coming up to her, and it
Yes.
turns out that's when Rose got wise to it, going, wait a second,
Right.
you're not here, and she blew up the box. which that was the one part where they couldn't outsmart her. Finally, you
Finally,
know,
yeah.
there's where Rose the Hat became a badass. Like, okay, enough of fucking with me, you know. And she goes back in, and they kind of reenact the scene a little bit with Jack Nicholson walking up to, I'm just gonna bash your fucking brains in, type thing. But it's the other way around. It's Danny, you
Right.
know, what's Danny holding again? It wasn't a baseball bat.
No,
It
it
was
was an
an axe.
axe.
It was an axe.
Well, that's because, and now we jumped a little bit ahead. That's because, Danny and Abra are there to fight fucking what's her face. She figures it out, and Danny and Rose the Hat get into a fight, and she fucks him up with the axe. Is that the way it works? Doesn't she get killed?
Well, she throws him down the stairs.
Right.
She gets the axe and she like stabs his leg with it, and then she starts putting her fingers in his wound.
Yeah,
And
that
you
shit
see,
always hurts. Every time I see shit like that, I'm like,
yeah,
oh, stop.
yeah. And steam's coming out, and when she's whiffing his steam, she's like, "Oh my god, this is some good shit."
Yeah, yeah. She's like, how do we not see you? That's where she said that.
But man, it was so awesome where he goes, like they're hungry,
Yeah, you
and
don't know where you are.
yeah, and every cast of character, creepy fuck from The Shining show up.
Yeah,
The
the girls.
twins, yeah,
Yep.
the twins, the naked old lady, the bartender, the guy with the nice party, isn't it?
Nice party, eh? Yeah.
They're all there, and they fucking fuck her up,
but
and
but then they go after Dan.
they enter him.
Yeah.
They enter him, and then he tries to kill the little girl. And they go into room, was it 237?
237, yeah.
Yeah, they go into that room, and she with her powers, she snaps him out of it for a little bit.
For a minute, yeah.
Yeah, for a minute, and she got him out of it. Then he's like, he feels it coming back to him, like run, because I'm gonna fucking kill you.
Right, right.
But
I like how she said you don't know who you're in or where you are, talking about
yeah,
being inside Danny.
right.
And
Yeah,
this is what I liked about what this director did. Um, Stephen King was always pissed off at the ending of Stanley Kubrick's version of The Shining. He hated it. This guy took Stephen King's original ending from The Shining and put it in this film, The Boiler.
and we skipped over earlier when they're at the Overlook, he was in the boiler, like turning on all the
Cranking
knobs and
everything
shit.
up. Yeah.
Yeah. So then
Yeah.
she escapes, and he's all fucked up, but he goes in the boiler. And what's so eerie and beautiful at the same time, it's eerie and beautiful, is where Danny turns and there's his mom.
Right.
And the camera turns to Danny and there's Danny's little boy.
Yes.
And then she's outside going, "Come on, you can make it, come out." But it was too late. The place burned down.
Right.
And go ahead.
Even that's a weird scene because, yeah, you see the Overlook on fire and all the fire trucks coming and such, and the next thing you know, it's Dan and her talking, and it's like
yeah,
you almost forget that we continue on. You think, oh, good, he made it. No, he didn't.
but and also earlier in the movie, there's a couple times where Scatman shows up, so it kind of explains that.
It
Like
does.
the spirit shows up, so he shows up and he pretty much gives her a little pep talk.
Yeah, where he's saying he's wrong to say suppress your shine, you let it go.
Yeah.
Because he was so scared for her with the True Knot.
Right.
He's like, you hide that shit, because he was yelling at her every time she fucked with Rose. He's like yelling at her.
No, and then like Rose says, very important, what she says at the end, toward the end of her life, is like, "Oh no, there's more of us out there."
Yeah,
like,
she's just the prettiest or the best looking or something like that.
Exactly. I'm just the prettiest. And then that's one of the things that they last talked about in that final scene was, do you think there's more of them out there? And he's like, "Well, I'm not sure. Maybe." Which would be a good setup for, another sequel, if there was more out there and it shows, but you'll get to see it. I'll be dead by then. But
Now, if
because
they
that'll probably be
wanted
another
to,
30 years.
I don't think it would be done very well. I really don't. I think
Right.
at that point it would be a cash grab.
Yeah. Leave it like this. I mean, this will be a perfect. But then like you want to discuss the very last thing in the movie I loved so much was when she goes to the bathroom.
Oh yes. Oh
She
yes.
she walks in the bathroom because you got to remember Dan let them all out of the box,
Yep.
so they're all out again.
Yeah, trying to feed off of that shine.
Exactly, they're all out again. So the way the movie ends, the little girl just walks in the bathroom. The naked, decrepit old lady comes out of the tub, and she just closes the door, and there's where the credits come up.
Yeah,
But what makes me think what happened was after she closed the door, after the credits come up, she puts her in a box.
absolutely.
So then she's just and I think that's such a brilliant ending because it's so dark and eerie, but yet beautiful.
Right.
It's
Because
just
she knows how to deal with these things she's going to have to deal with throughout her life.
right. And like Danny earlier in the movie, she went in there like a badass, not a care on the planet. When you see that old lady, she just quietly closes the door. Danny did the same thing earlier in the movie.
Yep.
No fear at all. Where before Danny was literally peeing his pants.
Yeah, pissing himself.
Yeah.
But that's like I even like even before that happens, before she goes into that bathroom to handle that woman, her mom walks in. Who you talking to?
Right.
And she's just up front, but I'm talking to Uncle Dan.
Well, first she said nobody, and then she goes,
Nobody.
"Well,
But then she
actually, I was." Yeah.
yeah, she says, no, we go on after this. And the mother, instead of being terrified, because if you remember, the mother and father were terrified of her power.
Yeah.
Her mother's like, oh, okay,
Yeah.
supper's ready.
Yeah. I accept it. You're a badass.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a great movie all around. I think it may definitely be movie of the year 2019. I'm going to have to watch Uncut Gems again because I've only watched it once. I'm going to have to watch Rise of Skywalker again. That drops on March 17th. But god damn, the way this guy took a book and a film and was able to fuse them both together and pay homage to both
Right.
and make a really good, entertaining movie. And we've sucked its dick a lot. 3 hours and it doesn't drag.
At all.
I think it's absolutely brilliant. And yeah, it could become one of my favorite movies of all time.
I think so too. I think it's going to go up there with The Shining because I mean, as I feel right now, I think it's as good. There's certain elements of The Shining that I would put over it, but that's because I've lived with it this long. But man, the way I feel about this movie, I think it's going to be definitely in my top 10. I haven't seen a movie this good. I don't know. I can't even tell you. Maybe Goodfellas is the last time I've seen a movie this good. And I love Casino, and there's what was it? What was that movie? That black exploitation movie I really like. Something Dynamite. I forgot now.
Oh, Dolomite.
No, not Dolomite. Oh my God, there's a movie you got to see. It's a black exploitation movie, but it's made like maybe 10 years ago. Something Dynamite. It's so good. But that's a comedy.
I don't know.
It's
The last black exploitation movie I saw that was recent was Undercover Brother.
this one's called Black Dynamite, and cannot suggest a fucking movie more for you to watch of recent times than Black Dynamite. It's so fucking good. I
Nice.
mean, this
I'll have to
guy
check
is
it
like,
out.
yeah, he's a badass. The first scene, he's banging three chicks, and
And
uh,
let me guess, he's doing kung fu, right?
he does kung fu. Yes, he's. I
have
mean,
you
there's.
seen Have you seen Eddie Murphy's Dolomite or whatever
I
that
loved
movie's
it.
called?
I loved it. I loved it.
God, it's great. Eddie Murphy killed it.
No,
Killed it.
there's a part in Black Dynamite where he's doing kung fu with like six white guys beating the fuck out of all of them, and then the phone rings and he picks it up and it's his mom and he's like, "I told you not to I told you not to disrupt me during my karate.
Oh, that's great stuff.
And the whole plot of the movie, like at the very end, the final scene, the final fight, he fights Richard Nixon.
Oh God, that's great.
At the White House. You gotta see this movie. It's so
That's
fucking
great.
badass. Yeah, and Richard Nixon's wife wants to bang him. And the guy's like the coolest guy on the planet.
Oh, that's so
Black
funny.
He's like, can you dig it? Fucking badass flick.
That's like, have you ever? And a lot of people don't seem to know this movie. It's one of my favorites as far as comedies go. I don't know if it's blaxploitation, but it's definitely a black movie. Pootie Tang.
You know what? I think I have. It sounds familiar.
It's got Chris Rock. It's got Lance Crothers in it. It's got Wanda Sykes in it. All-star cast. And Pootie Tang is like he's basically a superhero, but his power comes from his dad's belt. His dad had this one special belt with his one special buckle that he would whoop his ass with. And Pootie Tang was just a badass with that belt, knocking motherfuckers out like Indiana Jones with his whip, basically. And Pootie Tang didn't talk in like English. He said weird shit. Like, his sexy talk was like, I'm a sign your pity on the ruddy kind. It's fucking brilliant. Chris Rock plays a dad. Dude, I can't sell that shit enough. It's fucking hilarious.
Cool. Well, definitely check out Black Dynamite.
So Black Dynamite.
It's a movie you have to see.
Pootie Tang.
Yeah, I'll check it out.
Check those out. Man, I don't know if there's a lot more to say about Dr. Sleep other than it's
that's it. We just went through it, and I think this was a very interesting and informative episode because it's not like just us going through the plot. It's us going through what we think about the visions and the acting and everything that involved in this. It's just
we're not Siskel and Ebert, damn it. That's for all the old guys out there.
Yeah, no,
Ralph knows what I'm talking about.
And I'm far from a movie critic because a lot of movies.
We're way before Ebert and Roper.
Yeah, no, I mean, look, movie critics, music critics. I'm so far removed from those people. I love REO Speedwagon, for Christ's sake. I'm a big fan of fucking corporate rock. I am the anti-music critic, and I feel that way about movies because
I hate critics.
To me, if Dr. Sleep did not sweep the goddamn Oscars of this year, it shows you I don't know jack shit of what's going on. Sometimes, Siskel and Ebert would agree with me, but sometimes, I mean, I can't remember what movies, but they've slammed movies. I believe Siskel hated the first Terminator. It's like, God, it's one of the greatest movies ever. Well, while Ebert loved it. Or maybe it was the other way around. Or maybe I'm thinking of a different movie. But, I remember seeing one of them slam that movie, and I'm like, it's one of the greatest movies ever made.
I have found in my experience that if a critic hates something, that's something I have to go see.
Right. Right on, Bushy. Well, this has been an interesting episode. We finally knocked it out. The sequel to The Shining on the crossover, The Plug Meets the Vieira Vault. So until next time, Bushy, schmack 'em a gob, dude.
I love that word. Motherfuckers, buy vinyl, and we'll see you next time.
Bye-bye. Seriously, if you haven't seen that 3-hour extended version of Dr. Sleep, you must do that. Thank you so much, Bushy, from The Plug. Now it's time to go into the vault. All right, I'm in the vault, and it's kind of cold in here. I forgot to let the AC on. Anyway, what I'm going to play you now is something really silly I did several years ago. With my acoustic guitar, I wrote a song called Posers and Hipsters. And the melody is from an Oasis B-side. I think it's called something Star. I can't remember the name of the song now. It's a really good B-side, and I use kind of the melody lines, but the lyrics are all me. So here it is, recorded on my video camera. No fancy schmancy studio work, just me, my expensive Taylor acoustic guitar, and the lyrics. Check it out.
Now go and drink the bitter stinks, because all your friends do. There's no way the beer you drink won any ribbon that's blue. So fuck all your feelings, you should go slit your wrist. When I fucked your sister, she then let me fist her. So fuck you, you posers and hipsters. Now go lay where you are. I'll go start up my car. Gonna drive till it's Skisha. Ha ha, yeah, fuck you, you posers and hipsters. Yeah, your mother's a cool hoe, 'cause she licks my butthole. She loves when I come in her eye. She loves when I fist her, 'cause she's like your sister. So fuck you, you posers and hipsters. Your mom's been round the block. She sucked all of our cocks. Then she left just to kiss ya. So how did I taste? Bet it was not that great. By the look on your face, bet you wish she never kissed ya. Ha ha, yeah, fuck you, posers and hipsters. Thank you.
Ah, that brings a tear to my eye. Posers and hipsters. Well, my friends, it's the end of the Vieira Vault, but boy, do I have more episodes coming up. Oh, yeah. I haven't missed a week since I've left the Rock and Metal Combat Podcast, and I intend to keep it that way. I'm on a roll, man, and I'm loving it. I'm loving the feedback. I'm loving all you people listening, especially those that are hearing my voice right now. And I'll see you next week. I have several episodes in the can, so I don't know. I'll have to pick and choose which one I want to put up next week. Whatever it is, it's going to be awesome because they're all awesome. Again, thank you so much. Stay true to yourself. Don't rip anybody off. Don't fuck anybody over. Be fucking cool. Schmack 'em a gob.